Hey everybody, how's it going? And welcome to Legends of 40k. This is going to be part 2 of the whole Nemesis, Zandrak, Vargard, Obyron video in Legends of 40k. I did them in 2 separate videos because one is not required for the other, but in fluff and everything they kind of meant to go together. Not that you need to when you play. So, I already went over Nemesis Zandrak. This is Vargard Obyron. Vargard Obyron is a unique special character for 2 reasons. One, his stat line is different from a standard stat line for a Necron. And 2, he is not a special character Overlord, nor is he a special character Cryptek. He's more of a special character multi-wound Lichguard, if anything. So let's get right to it. Vargard Obyron, he is 160 points, weapon skill of 6, ballistic skill of 4, strength and toughness of 5, 3 wounds, initiative of 2, 3 attacks, leadership 10, 2 plus save. He is unique. Infantry, he's got Ghostwalk Mantle, Sempiternal Weave, and War Scythe as war gear. In special rules, he has Cleaving Counterblow, Ever Living, Independent Character, Reanimation Protocol, and the Vargard's Duty. Plus, Vargard Obyron does not take up an HQ choice if your army also includes Nemesis or Zandrak. So that's how they kind of go together. Plus one of the rules. So, with that said, let's look at Vargard Obyron's special war gear and rules. Ghostwalk Mantle is a advanced Veil of Darkness. So basically it's a special Veil of Darkness. And how this works is Obyron can use the Ghostwalk Mantle in his movement phase instead of moving normally. If he does, Obyron and his unit are removed from the tabletop and replaced together anywhere on the board using the rules for Deep Strike. Unlike other Veils of Darkness, the Ghostwalk Mantle can even be used if Obyron or his unit are locked in combat. Any enemy units no longer locked in combat as a result of this move consolidate immediately. Cleaving Counterblow. When enemies attempt to strike Obyron in close combat, keep track of the number of attacks that fail to hit him before Obyron makes his own attacks. For each miss, Obyron makes a bonus attack up to a maximum of 6 bonus attacks when it is his turn to strike. Enemy misses that occur after Obyron has attacked do not generate bonus attacks. Any bonus attacks not used by the end of the assault phase are lost. And keep in mind, it has to be full-on misses, meaning if it's like a reroll and then they hit afterwards, then the miss doesn't count, obviously. And the Vargard's Duty. If Obyron uses his Ghostwalk Mantle, he does not scatter, providing that he aims to arrive within 6 inches of Zandrak. Furthermore, if an enemy unit launches an assault on Zandrak's unit, Obyron immediately leaves his unit and must pile into that combat, regardless of how far away from it he is. We assume he uses his Ghostwalk Mantle to reach his master's side. Any enemy units no longer locked in combat as a result of this pile and move immediately consolidates. If Obyron is embarked on a transport or in a building with the special rule, when the special rule is triggered, I should say, ignore the normal rules for disembarkation. Obyron simply is removed from where he was and is piled into Zandrak's combat. Basically, whenever Zandrak gets assaulted into close combat, Obyron moves by himself to his master's side, regardless of where he is on the tabletop. So that's his rules and war gear and stuff like that. So before I talk about my thoughts on his entry and using him, let's look at his model. His model is a cool looking model. Now, if this was anything but a Necron, I wouldn't really like it too much because his arms, he's just holding it like this. He's not holding his weapon in any particular fashion. Both of his hands are in the same position. He's kind of wide-legged stance and just stand as statuesque, like menacing that way with his head, and like just in the position his head is. It's a menacing pose, but it's very statuesque, very static. But again, I feel that fits with the Necrons, with the way they are. That's why I like it. He could use him as a regular Necron Overlord if he wanted to. I mean, he is different enough that he will stand out. He's got a War Scythe, which could also be a Staff of Light if you wanted. So, in theory, you could use him like that. There's nothing stopping you, but he is really not an Overlord, though. He's not an Overlord special character. He's not even really a regular Necron Lord type of special character. He's more of a Lichguard, in my opinion. That's kind of the vibe I get. So, overall, I do like his model. I like how he looks a bit different. I like how he actually looks like he's kind of wearing armor a bit, even though he's a Necron. I like that. Now, his entry. His point cost isn't too bad. His entry is actually pretty good. He's unique. He's got a higher weapon skill than pretty much other Necrons. And that's really it. Other than that, he's got he has an Overlord stat line except for his weapon skill, which is higher. So in this case, you're paying for a higher weapon skill. And as far as war gear goes, he's pretty good with his 2+ armor save. He's got a war scythe. He's not a slouch. Now, cleaving counterblow is a very nice rule because Necrons innately have a low initiative, and he's no different. He's got a 2 initiative, so his cleaving counterblow can really be nice when enemies start attacking him. You have to be careful though. You can't just have him go into close combat and hope he gets hit by stuff, because if he enters close combat against like power fists or thunderhammers or stuff that can go through his 2+ armor save, he's got no other save to go against it. So you're really hoping for misses and hoping he doesn't get battered to oblivion before you can go. But the cleaving counterblow is nice. It gives him more attacks, and more attacks with a war scythe is something your opponent never wants you to do, so it's definitely nice to have. And it works well with having a low initiative. I think the big thing though, aside from cleaving counterblow, is the Ghostwalk Mantle. That's a very nice advanced Veil of Darkness. You can put him with any squad really, whether it's shooting or assaulting. If you put him with a good shooting squad, Ghostwalk Mantle somewhere, get into a good shooting position, you could pop a tank from behind pretty easily. You could really chew into some infantry that are trying to stay out of harm's way. Reposition to get into a good field of view for attacks or whatever it is. If you got him in a close combat squad like a Lich Guard squad or even Flayed Ones or whatever it is, you can get them into a good position behind some cover, hopefully, provided how you scatter, and maybe even be able to launch assault next turn. It basically gives your opponent something to think about, if you think about it. It's not standard. It's something they're definitely going to go, hey, wait a minute, now I got to deal with that. Plus, the added bonus of the Vargard's duty, if you happen to play him with Nemesis or Zandrak, 2 things happens. 1, you can have a 3rd HQ because he won't take up any slots. 2nd, and more importantly, the Vargard's duty lets him immediately go from wherever he is into close combat at his master's side should anything happen to Nemesis or Zandrak. So if you got to combo them together, you can be a little bit more bold with either of them. And if Nemesis or Zandrak gets caught, boom, Vargard or Obyron comes in with his impressive stat line to go into close combat. But by himself, just as a 1 HQ of this guy, not bad. You have somebody who can definitely put up a good threat in close combat. A War Scythe with his innate strength of 5 is no joke, and that's why War Scythes are very nice on Necrons. Plus, he can take a squad and be very mobile wherever you want to go, basically. You just get to go, you know what, this turn I'm going to go there. You know what, this turn I'm going to go here. Not only can you deploy rapidly to be offensive on your enemy's force, but if they start to try and counter maneuver you, or if they, let's say, drop pod in, next turn you could bam right there and start shooting them up. So you have a very good defensive capability as well as offensive capability. And that's how I would use them. I would put them with either a squad of Immortals or a nice big squad of Warriors, depending upon what I'm doing. And if I want to get crazy with close combat, I might give him some Lich Guard or even some Flayed Ones. Instead of destriking the Flayed Ones, you have him go in with them and Ghost Walk somewhere. Also, if you're going to use Death Marks and you're not going to use the way Death Marks come into play, he could get Death Marks into a good position. Get him up close, rapid firing distance, then next turn bamf away and go somewhere else or whatever it may be. So a lot of potential with this guy. I think you won't be too surprised to see him use more. The one thing he lacks is he can't take a Catacomb Command Barge because he's not a commander type like that. So you have to think of other ways. For example, attaching to a squad and then going crazy that way. So lots of different ways you could utilize this character, and I think he's he's nice. The way I would do it is put him with some type of shooting squad like Immortals, or a full size squad of warriors, and just go, okay, I'm gonna teleport here now, and then I'm gonna shoot into your squad, and you have to deal with that. And then if things get a bit too dicey, I'm gonna teleport over here, or whatever it may be. Be kind of a menace that way. And oh, you're gonna get me in close combat. All right, we'll fight this, and then I'll just ghost walk away, depending upon how it's going. So that's really it for Vargard Obyron. Not too much else to say. Pretty straightforward in what he can do, but it's what he can do that isn't going to be super straightforward, because it depends on what squad you attach him to and how you ghost walk Mantle and wherever you want to go. So, all in all, kind of a unique HQ. He's got a unique maneuvering capability that other HQs don't have, and he's got a unique stat line, which is very rare for Necron. So, even though he has that, though, remember, he is at a lower initiative, which works for his cleaving counterblow, so it's kind of a toss-up there. But he has a good stat line, so he's very durable. And that's it. So I hope you've enjoyed Vargard Obyron. I think he's a cool model. You could use him as a generic Overlord if you wanted to, or a generic anything. But what's that blue thing? Whatever. Anyways, that's it. I would use him in a supporting role still. I wouldn't be so aggressive with him. I'd put him with a good, solid shooting squad. He's kind of a repellent that way from just assaulting that squad. Plus, he can get them into good avenues of shooting. And if things get really dicey or they get charged, he can get them out of there, where otherwise they would be stuck. So that's pretty nice. And that's it for Obyron. More Legends of 40k to come, and if you have any requests, put them in the comments section. If I did them already, I'll let you know in a reply. If not, I'll get it done as soon as possible. So that's really it, and until next time, take it easy.